Hey everyone, OMG. Welcome to a brand new episode of Wives Wind Down. Yes, it is that time. It's Wednesday. It's been a day and now we are all back together. I missed y'all last week, but I wanted to take a break for self-care and I wanted to give you all time to take a break, spend time with your families. So yes, hey y'all, hey KK, hey Sheila God's girl. And Radiance, I see y'all. Hey, Lakia. I have missed y'all so. It felt like forever, even though it was just a week. But I'm so glad to see that y'all are back again. Drop in the comments. Let me know what y'all been up to, what you've been doing, or what you did last week, and how you feeling. Hey, Monique, I see you, girl. I'm going to add you in a minute, girl. Just make sure you hit that request button, okay? But yes, welcome to Wives Wind Down. I am your host, Shonda White, and I'm so excited for you all to be joining me. Whether this is your first time or whether you have been with me since day one, this is episode 21. So that means we've been going for 21 weeks. Like, y'all, we killing it. And I can't do this without y'all and the support and the lovely, oh, thanks, Radiance. I see you, girl. And the support. And of course, without my special guests, like, you all have shown so much love, and I'm just so thankful to each and every one of you. For those of y'all who are new to Wives Wind Down, I started this outlet and this platform because I've been married for 12 years, and I love. Hey, Renita. Hey, sis. Miss you. Hey, Miss Thang 21. Okay, Miss Thang. All right. But I started this platform because I remember when I first got married. I've been married for 12 years now, but when I first got married, I was kind of like a little nervous about marriage, and I was like, okay, now I'm a wife. Like, what does that mean? And I remember like going through like little petty arguments or just disagreements with my husband, or going through different seasons and ups and downs. And I was like, is this what marriage is really about? Like, I started to question like whether or not I was like, is this normal? Hey, Quiet Storm. And so I realized, like, once I started talking to other married women, they're like, oh yeah, that's normal, or yes, it's just growing pains, or everyone goes through it. And I was like, well, why didn't anybody tell me this before I got married? It's like, we talk about all, like, how to get a man and where to find a man, all this stuff. I'm like, but how do you stay married? Like, how do you do that? So I wanted to create this platform for married women, single women, women who aspire to get married, and just women, for a place for us to come together, keep it real, keep it honest. I like to choose guests who I know are going to be transparent and open and honest. And we just talk about real life stuff, whether it's dealing with, being a wife, being a mom, transitioning from girlfriend to wife, and what does that look like? And just being honest and having fun, and just a place where we can have some good old girl talk from real women, some real talk and real life stories. And so I wanted to create that platform. And like I said earlier, thank you all so much for all of your support thus far, because y'all have been killing it. They said, and men come together as well. Okay, yes. And the men do join us sometimes. Yes. The men, y'all need more outlets too, because the women, we have plenty, but the fellas definitely need more. But yes, the men come through as well, as long as they're friendly and, because we don't bash anybody on this platform. We are all here just to like let each other know that, sis, you're not alone. We in this together. So whether you've been married for a year, 10 months, or you're about to get married, this is the outlet for you. Or even if you aspire to be married and you just want to know, like, we pull back the curtain and like keep it real about that. So without further ado, hey y'all, I see y'all coming through. Make sure y'all drop in the comments what y'all did last week, how y'all feeling. I feel like I missed y'all, but hopefully you had some special safe time with your family, or had some self-care and relax. So drop it in the comments. Let me know what y'all was doing while I let our guest in. I'm set. Yeah. Hey, Pink and Green 05. Coming through for your peoples. Hey.
Hey.
Yes. Hey, Monique.
Hey, let me get this light right. What's up?
Yes. Honey, look like the ray of God just shining on down.
Girl. Hello.
You made it. How are you doing?
I am here.
Yes.
That's the real answer. I am here.
Listen,
Yes.
you starting keeping it real already, okay? Already. I done already
Yes.
shout out your little friend. I'm assuming she's AKA because she said Pink and Green 05. So I was like, she must be an AKA.
Yeah, that's actually my saying. Hey, Deborah.
Oh, hey. Hey, Lexi. Hey, Lisa. So before we get into it, let me go ahead and introduce the people to you, because for those who may not know, I want to formally introduce you to everyone. So Monique is the co-owner and co-founder of Divine Interventions, LLC, offering counseling, coaching, and consulting services. Monique and her husband are also ministry leaders at church for their Power Couples Marriage Ministry. I love that name. They've been married 10 years and know the challenges that come with having a blended family. Considering her name means advisor, it's no surprise that she serves as a mentor to many and finds joy in pursuing the path that God has laid out for her. Everybody, drop your hand claps in the chat and clap it up for Monique.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Listen, I'm here for, I'll save that for later, but yes, I'm so excited. How was last week for you, with the holiday and, spending time with family?
Last week was amazing, and we probably would be one of those families that everybody talked about because we didn't follow the rules. Well, we did follow the rules as far as social distancing, mask up, windows open, doors open. But I have 6, 7 siblings. It's a lot of us. And so it's hard to not be together. And our family is so tight. So my sister and her husband just purchased a huge home. So we got together, we spread out. And my mama was there. She was masked up twice. She had the mask in the field. And people were outside. She didn't let nobody come close. And so everybody is feeling well. Family is everything. So we had a really good Thanksgiving, and we praise God that everybody's good.
Oh, I love that. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I can hear you pretty well, but the screen is really grainy. I can't see you clearly.
I don't know if it's you think it's the light?
No, it's not the light, because it looks grainy, like it's, pixelated.
Okay.
Now it's cleaning up.
Okay. Is it cleaning?
Yes. Okay. Now, there we go. Yes. The ray of sunshine is back.
The blood of Jesus. Come on in this room.
Yeah.
We're going to cover all the airways because I don't play.
Not tonight.
Yes.
How have you and hubby been like during quarantine? I've seen like y'all had y'all's little trip to Mexico. I was like, yes, like
we have. This is year 10, so this is huge. Yes, and we thank God for that. Yes, and it's been tough. It has been tough, and so trying to get away and still away to rekindle, rejuvenate. We have a big, huge blended family. We're working hard. And so we have to still away to rest and recuperate and, to, rejuvenate. And so we've been all right. This quarantine is real. Mm-hmm. And I see where you and hubby have been creative and doing things. We spent this time to do a lot of things around the house. I listened to One Wives Down, and we repainted the whole basement. Yes, that was one of the first ones that I listened to several months ago actually. And we've redone the kitchen, we've done this office. So we've made time during this year to do some home improvements and stuff since we in this piece, right? So just trying to make everything work. Busy with ministry still, so.
That's what I wanted to do. I've done a lot of organizing, but the home improvements, that's what I want. I'm like, Lord, I want that to be my ministry, but it's just not in me. I just can't. I want to finish painting, and Eric's like, ain't nobody coming in here. I'm like, So hats off to y'all, and I'm so glad that even despite everything going on, you all took that time to celebrate. Because like you said, 10 years, I used to not think 10 years was that much. But apparently with our generation and everything that's changed, they like, oh yeah, you celebrate 10 years. So hats off to you and hubby, because that is not an easy feat. So
it's not. And it's not. And we don't take it lightly, and we thank God. And if it were not for him, it wouldn't be no 10 years. So that's real. That's real talk.
That's real right there. Come on, you're going to take us to church tonight. Now, one of the things that some people may not know, and I don't even know if I've ever told you this personally or publicly, but you and we have a very special bond. I feel like even though we don't talk all the time, it's like the last time I was actually in Louisville at Bates, where we used to go, like we hugged and caught up, and I got to hold your precious little boy. He ain't so little anymore, but I've always felt bonded to you because I felt like you were definitely one of those people in the seasons, especially when I was trying to find myself. You were such an encourager. It's like right after, especially that transition of college and then trying to like figure yourself out, going through relationship woes. Like you was there with me, sis. And like you saw like the pre-marriage and now the marriage. And I love that we've been able to witness each other's journeys.
Yes.
What would you say, especially going through your own relationship woes, what would you say was the sign, or how did you know that like your husband was the one, you know, when he came along and that it was different?
Oh, Lord. What was the sign? I'd have to say the sign was after, it came after prayer. Because when Brandon and I ran back into each other in 2008, so we went to, a lot of people know this, but we went to elementary, middle school, and the first year of high school together. We rode the same school bus. We're in the same classes for 10 years. And so, but yeah, so in school, we did not look at each other with any crushes or anything. We were just classmates, you know. But I ran into him at the mall, and that was 2008. 2008, China had so many friends, sorors, sisters, cousins getting married. I mean, like 2008 was the year, and I'm just waiting and just waiting. And so I know a lot of times when you're single, we a lot of times make marriage the focus, you know, and make marriage the goal. And I got to a point where I'm like, it must be nice. It sounds nice. It looks nice. But I remember the prayer, and I told God, I desire to be married, but I am to the point now to whatever you have for me, God, your will is what I want. And I kid you not, after that simple prayer, like, I don't know, a week or two, I ran into Brandon at the mall. And he was not saved. He was atheist, actually. And yes. Did not know the Lord, wasn't thinking about the Lord, was actually on his way to Miami to do God knows what. And I ended up inviting him to church. And he pushed me off for a couple of months. Now, when I'm inviting him to church, it wasn't because of an interest. It was, I was high on God, girl. And I'm like, everybody needs to know about him. Yes. And so I would call him on Saturday night. He wouldn't answer. He later told me it's because he was on his way to the club. That's cool. I just prayed. I prayed for my schoolmate. And so one Sunday out of the blue, he called me and was like, what time does church start? And so with knowing that Brandon was the one, it was a process, but it was all through prayer. I had made a list. God, I want my man to be this, and this. And we had been dating for a while. And I was focused on Brandon not being the perfect knight in shining armor. And God showed me that I was focused on his flaws. And so when I sat down and I prayed and I looked at my list, literally, I heard God say, well, Monique, he is everything on this list. But I was focused on only the things that I didn't like about Brandon. You know what I'm saying? And so when I saw that he loved the Lord, because I prayed for a man that loved the Lord so much that I knew that he would love me, you know, goal-oriented, driven, all that. He was all those things. And so God had to clown me a couple of times. And so that's how I knew relationship with God is everything. And he speaks, you know, if we ask him.
Somebody said, yes, prayer and a list. Amen to that. Hey, Samantha, she said she loves that. God had to clown me. Honey, that's a whole word, okay? Because you can think that, and I think that's just so important that like you have to be in alignment with like God's plan, because and sometimes it's like he just wants you to surrender to his plan so that he doesn't feel like, okay, as soon as you get this relationship, you're gonna put it all before me, because I know that's what I used to do. I was like, hold on now, like and the fact that he was an atheist, and now to see you two leading a marriage ministry,
crazy. Crazy.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Like, oh my gosh, that's a whole other, I'm like, that journey, I'm sure that just took a lot of prayer, and because you can't force someone to to know. And so you just was praying and y'all was talking through it, I guess, right?
And it was praying, talk, and I became a friend to him first. And it was, you know, my goal is to show people Jesus. And so, you know, he was cute and everything, but you don't know the Lord. I'm sorry, you know. And so in conversation, it was giving him God, you know what I'm saying? And so he had told me he'd been with different girls in church, and he had swayed them on over, not swayed them over to atheism, but to, you know, get him what he wanted. Right. And so he said there was something different, that light. And so it was just being a witness, Brandon is an intellectual. He's very bright, very, very smart. And so there's nothing that I could have said to like switch his intellectual. It had to be the example of Jesus. So, and God did that, you know, and so I bless God for the transformation, and the transformation that continues to take place, because that was years and years of, you know, mental slavery to the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but he loves the Lord. He knows more scripture than me.
Y'all be having Bible wars at home.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing. Okay.
Wow, I'm like, why is one down is over? That's it. It's a wrap. Like, oh my gosh, like that is such a beautiful testimony. I'm like, y'all need to write a book about this, because the people need to hear that story, because, you know, that's just a powerful testimony. Like you said, it was about the witness. And like, if your witness don't line up with what you're saying, then it ruins the ministry. It ruins the witness. Like somebody said, woo child, been swayed to not go to church as much, for sure. Shaking my head. Yeah. And even that, I mean, like with my husband, I remember Eric, he wasn't really going to church. He had a relationship with God, but he wasn't going to church. And the old me would have been like, nah, I'm done. But like you said, it was through like conversation, just witnessing and like being friends with each other. And then I'll never forget when he was like, hey, I found me a church. He was in Ohio. He's like, I found me a church. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so proud. And then he felt like he wants to get rebaptized and rededicate himself. And I was like, I didn't have to force it. I just, there you go. You just live that life with each other, and you go through the journey with each other. I'm like, we either gonna make it or it ain't gonna work. So, and
you trust God in that process, because we as women, I was telling somebody earlier today, we manipulate and try to fix a situation. Well, I'm gonna make sure that he, you know, nope. You really put it in God's hands and watch him work. But you do your part in your lifestyle, but you really give it to God and give God and keep his heart, pray for his heart, you know, and keep that before God. And that's right. You let go and let God. Somebody said, wait on the Lord. That's right.
That's right. Yes, Brittany. So you all have been married for 10 years, and I saw a post one day. You said went from young love to built to last. I want to talk about that young love. Like, what would you say to that young couple now that you didn't necessarily know or understand back then?
Girl, hold on. Help is on the way.
Come on now.
Listen, hold on. You know, because society, romance novels, if you're a reader, movies, best man, all of that, whatever, they paint an image of how perfect marriage is supposed to be. And so you get, and I know this is one of the purposes for your platform, is that to show people, listen, we go through it. Marriage is not all milk and cookies, you know. And so if I knew what I know now, it would be just hold on. Marriage, now and then, I was too focused on trying to obtain and trying to have the perfect marriage back then, you know, and asking myself, what am I doing wrong? Why is this, you know? But number one, keep God in it, you know, that 3-strand cord, keep him in it. Trust God. And I remember, and this is important because, you know, I'm a mental health counselor, and counseling is such a huge part of life that everybody needs at some point in time and need to revisit. Brandon and I, during our first couple of years, we were going through it. And I remember going to we were going to counselors, and shout out to Dr. 𝗂𝘁, love Dr. Gray and his wife. And we were unequally yoked. Not because we weren't both saved, but because of our levels of salvation, because of, you know what I'm saying? Yes. And so 𝗂𝘁, I will never forget this. He said, trust the God in your mate. And so when we would be like this, and I wasn't doing what he thought I should be doing, he wasn't doing what I was, take it back to God. Trust the God in your mate. And so, quit trying to badger, quit trying to change. Take it to God. It saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of energy. I don't even know what the question was, but
just what, like, you answered it, but like, because we started with the hymnal, but just like young love to now, and like what you would tell your younger self. And so you talked
it's
about
okay. It's okay. Marriages go through seasons.
Yeah.
There are wonderful seasons. You know what I'm saying? There are wonderful seasons. Then there are seasons that are trying. Our first year was pretty good. It seemed like day 366. After the first year, all hell breaks loose. And it's okay. It's okay that your marriage will do this.
Yeah.
But we're married for a lifetime. And so understand that this momentary 6 months that we're going through this struggle, or 2 weeks, or a year, pales in comparison if our goal is to be married 50, 60, 70 years.
Yes.
So we got time.
We got time. Come on. We got time.
That's what I would tell. That's what I would tell the young love. Y'all got time.
That's good, sis. That's so good. I can feel that all the way through. Now, you two, speaking of like going through different seasons, you two have a beautiful blended family, which I love. Y'all just take the cutest little photos, okay?
Thank you.
What has that journey been like, and what would you say has been the most helpful when it comes to making it work?
Let me breathe. Wusa. It's real, Shonda. Because there's so many entities and there's so many elements. When we came into the marriage, I had Morgan, he had Orion. Orion is his son, my bonus son. Morgan is my maternal niece, but was my daughter. You know, I came into the relationship as my daughter. And so you have baby mama, you have my sister who's a mama, and biological siblings on the outside, you know, my nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
And so there's so many entities. I had to be careful not to be selfish when it comes to an already pre-established relationship with my husband and his son first, and then my husband and the mother of his child. And so not always trying to push my agenda. And so being able to take a step back and observe, know my place in that, because he has a mom. Orion has a mom. He has a whole wonderful mom. Ashley is an amazing mom, and bless God we get along. But being able to communicate with my husband when it's me and him communicating concerns and things like that, but also knowing when to just sit back and not say anything, because his mom and my husband, they have it covered. But I'll be honest with you, early on there was a lot of jealousy, because I think the relationship between my husband and his son, because before me, it was all about his son. That was his number one. That's my baby. You know, he'll die for his baby, right? And you know, when we come into marriage, you know, that position changed. It's God, your husband or wife, and then the children,
and the kids.
And yes, so we had to learn that, and he had to learn the same with Morgan, and that was a different dynamic as well, because I didn't have a baby daddy, because she's my niece. But there were so many challenges in, is he the uncle daddy? Is he the daddy? You know, this comes with the with the territory. You get her, you get me, you get her, you know. And so we went from single with a child to a family of 4 automatically. And so just having to not be selfish. And again, I will always implement God, because you need wisdom on how to bring that blend, you know. So it's very challenging. It still is today. I bless God, and like I said, I give a shout out to the mother of my stepmom, because we've been able to co-parent, all of us, and she's married, all 4 of us, and communicate effectively. That's really important for the child. And so just realizing it's not about you. It's about the purpose of the children, you know, and the lives that God's entrusted you with. And so, you know, when you move yourself out of the way and understand that you have a responsibility to create and help cultivate a human that's going to go out into the world that represents Christ and your family, then that keeps you humble a little bit.
Mm,
It
mm.
does.
That's good, especially how you phrased it. Like, realize that it's the purpose is about the kid. Excuse me, the purpose of the kids. Like, that's hard, and I'm so glad you were so honest, because I feel like some people, excuse me, I feel like some people aren't always as honest about it's jealousy or whatever. They just feel like, well, she don't treat me, and it's like maybe there's some internal feelings going on that,
Right.
you know,
Right.
especially like you said, going from them, just them two, and then you're like, I'm the wife now. Like, come
Right.
here, I need a little attention.
Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
so I love that
Hmm.
you're honest about that. I know recently you and I were talking about breaking generational curses and how important that is to you. And I just wanted to allow you the space and opportunity to talk about what that looks like in your family, what breaking generational, because I feel like it looks different for every family, but like, what does that look like for you and your husband?
Oh, that's deep too. Reagan said blended families can work. They absolutely can work. And
Yes.
it's a
Hey,
beautiful thing.
Radiance. They
It's
can.
a
She
beautiful
definitely has
thing.
one. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they can work. But generational curses are real. They
Mm.
are real. And in counseling we call them generational patterns.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And it's when you see the reoccurrence of the same theme, you have male incarceration, you
Mm-hmm.
have and I promise I'm not trying to be churchy, but it's real because I talk to a lot of singles about this. Just the perversion spirit
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in our culture that runs rampant in our families when there are people and kids that are taken advantage of or exposed to
Yeah.
sexually explicit things that
Yeah.
um, perversion, drug abuse,
Mm-hmm.
alcoholism,
Mm-hmm.
physical, mental abuse,
Mm-hmm.
poverty, all of these things where our parents do the best that they can in raising us. But um, whether we like it or not, we wake up. And I explained this in counseling. There's a physical DNA, there's biological DNA, but there's spiritual DNA. And so you find a man that struggles with the same thing that his dad struggled with, and he doesn't understand because his dad wasn't even in his life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the spiritual generational pattern that's passed down generation after generation. So what that looks like for us is, okay, my dad did this, my mom was like this or is like this, and that's being real. How is that surfacing and coming up in our marriage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're not gonna do this. And so it's having talks. I see this and I understand that this is a problem. It's a habit.
Mm-hmm.
um and there were a lot of things that we had to learn. Brandon and I had to talk about because we were raised totally different.
Yeah.
And he's loud. He's loud. He's real loud. His whole family's real loud. And I'm not. And I wasn't raised like that. So our arguments look different. And
Yes.
I'm like my first year of marriage, I'm like, I don't want this because the way that we were, raised and just communicating.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to talk about it and we have to pray about it, keep it presented before God. And then, there's scriptures that say that we have to repent, Shauna. That means, change our hearts, but also repent and ask for forgiveness for the sins of our fathers and our
Mm-hmm.
forefathers, our grandparents, and our ancestors, who did the best they can and who paved the way, but left us with some spiritual baggage.
Child. Mm.
Divorce,
Mm-hmm.
that's a generational pattern. And
Mm-hmm.
so when Brandon and I first got married, we said divorce won't be an option. We can't do it. Now, has it come up in arguments? Yes. But somebody at one point has to be the more spiritual and say, we know we're not doing that. We're
Mm-hmm.
not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Brittany said, always lay it at his feet. Absolutely. Confessing it,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
talking about it, recognizing that it's here and how it's showing up,
Mm-hmm.
praying about it. Um,
I think that's so key. I'm thankful for my journey through therapy, because what I've realized too, there are things that we have pushed down within us, and like we've just survived, and we didn't even realize something was like festering beneath the surface.
Yes.
until some red flag triggers it, or
You're
something
right.
happens and triggers, or oh my gosh, why am I dealing with anxiety? And it's like, because there were some underlying issues that were never addressed. So that healing process, I'm so glad you talked about that, because it's like a lot of times the healing starts with acknowledgement with anything, whether you're an addict or whatever. It's like you have to acknowledge that. And so many of us, we just say, I get it from my mama, I get it from my dad. Well, guess what? You're going to have to get rid of it.
Right,
Like,
right, right. So, oh, I heard Dr. Nita Phillips say, "Well, it runs in my family." Yeah, it runs in my family until it ran into me.
mm-hmm.
It stops here. But you're
Yeah.
so right. You're so right, Shauna. We suppress so much. We suppress so much, and we think because we don't talk about it or we don't deal with it that it just goes away. No, ma'am.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
It just
And it comes
manifests
up.
itself in other ways.
Yep, yep.
Oh gosh.
You teaching. You teaching.
You are, girl. I'm just reiterating. I'm just, reiterating what you've already said. Oh my gosh. And I love that, like, you're a black woman who provides like therapy and counseling. Like, I'm constantly hearing from friends who are like, I'm looking for a black therapist, or counseling is so hard. Do you offer sessions virtually? Like, maybe if somebody's in another state, or are you, kind of confined to locally where you are, or is that something that you're open to?
COVID has been one of the best things that has happened for my business.
Yes.
And so talk about all things working together. All my sessions are virtual, just like this. And you would think, it's not as powerful, it's not as relatable. But when I tell you, it's just as strong and as powerful. Yeah, so all of the people that I see are just like this. And so depending on where you live, and what your insurance is, I do accept all major forms of insurance. But I do offer life coaching too. So if we don't do therapy, my approach is life coach and friend, sister, auntie, big sis.
Aww.
Okay. And so we can have those type of sessions too. Everybody, may not need deep therapeutic, but we all need somebody to talk to. And so whatever approach you need, that's what I can offer. And so if I can't go beyond state line, because I can do kind of like trust, I can do Indiana.
Okay.
But I probably can't counsel somebody in California, but I can coach you.
That's good to know. Okay.
Okay.
Teach us. And especially because, like you said, you might need a little coach, and which I feel like you're so good at, because I feel like you were my coach at one point, even though, like, I felt like that. You were such an encourager. You might need your big sister to be like, girl, if you don't delete that number, or like, you just might need an accountability coach to come, single, married, girl, it's the COVID, but delete that number.
Yes, yes. And I will turn into auntie in a session. And that's why I love I love the gift that God has given me to bless his people. Because you can see the need. And sometimes, when you see somebody that looks like you, it's that connection. And I know I can go there. And listen, I'm big sis right now. Let me tell you. Right. And, therapy is all about challenging your client to think, because we're not supposed to tell you what to do. Okay. So challenging you, and that's what big sis will do. That's what your therapist will do. A good one.
A good one. Somebody said therapy is so important. I would have never known if I didn't have the time and money. Yes. Like, and you're so right about seeing somebody. My job, they're so wonderful. They are so big on mental health and self-care and stuff. And so they offer it like now for free. We can have like a health advisor and mental health and all this stuff. And I just did a anxious Black girl group therapy, which was wonderful. So I'm like, I'm trying everything. But like, the health advisor, she wasn't one of us. And I was like, excuse me, could I get someone that looks like me? But it's like owning my self-care, owning my therapy, because like you said, there's nothing like, because then I don't have to explain certain stuff.
Exactly.
Like, you just get it. When I talk to Monique, she's just going to get it. I don't have to explain. I don't have to put on. I can just be me. Like,
yes.
Important.
When the Breonna Taylor thing hit our city, you understand, a lot of my clients are brown women. And so it was it went without saying. You know, when we started the session, we already knew, we already felt it. And I took a day off. I canceled a day of sessions the day after we found out the verdict, because, you know, and so counselors need counselors too. Counselors need mental health days too. And so I want to be effective with you. So I need a day because I need to regather my thoughts. I need to collect myself because this has hit me too, you know. And so there's nothing like relatability when it comes to seeking out services. And I would admonish everybody at whatever point to do it. It's so beneficial, and it can be life changing.
Life changing. Oh my gosh. That is a perfect transition for what I was about to talk about next, which you had posted on your Instagram one day. Super wife, super mom, super tired. I was like, yes.
Look. I was today.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I need to get that for some of my mom friends.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody said, what's the website?
I will. My sister make my honey. I love us.
Brittany, are you talking about, I don't know if she's talking about your website or the t-shirt website. She might, because sometimes the comments are delayed. So what's both your sister's website and your website?
Okay. My website, y'all gotta pray for me because it's up, but I don't use it much. But it's www.𝗪𝗏𝘃𝘁.com.
So how do you prefer people contact you?
I prefer people to contact me through my email, via my email, which is Monique C as in Cat O'Neill, all one word. Somebody type that in, Monique C O'Neill.
Somebody type it in me so I don't mess up something and accidentally hit the wrong button and end the live. Monique C
O'Neill, ONEAL at gmail.com.
I know my sister's gonna come through for us. I know.
Yes. And I typically respond within 24 to 72 hours if you email about services. So that's the best way to contact me.
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad. I'm like, I have to make sure, because like I said, I know so many people that live there and who live here and other places, and I'm like, yes, come on, sisters. I knew y'all.
Yes.
Miss Thang and Angela. I knew y'all would come through. I love y'all. So you do a lot of counseling and coaching with busy moms. And I saw one video where you're talking about people pleasers, and I was like, I'm a recovering people pleaser. Which I have unpacked that thankfully through therapy. But you basically coach them to help them understand that self-care isn't selfish and that we don't have to do 50 different things like society tells us. So what are some other myths and misconceptions that you want to debunk about self-care so that we don't feel like guilty about it?
Right. And that's the thing, is the guilt that's associated with it. Self-care is not selfish. The myth that I'd like to debunk is that it's not selfish. It's not putting yourself before others. It is, but it's for the purpose so that you can continue to help others. And so self-care is about refilling your cup. And so, you know, in therapy, I like to have the illustration of, right? And we talk about all the things that we pour into. Okay, if I start pouring, I got tea in here, and that's my drink for tonight, tea. Yeah, chamomile, I love it. It's just and it's cold in Louisville. Yes. So if I start pouring right now, everything that I'm pouring into, my boys, my Morgan, my business, my ministry, my husband, my family, being an advisor, I'll be advising all over the place, right? By the end of the day, this cup is empty. It's empty. And so if I wake up in the morning and I'm doing the same thing again and I haven't poured back into my cup, how can I be effective? How can I help somebody else if I'm not helping myself? And so self-care is not selfish. It's actually essential. And, you know, a lot of people look at self-care as a bubble bath, and it is, but it's not limited to. It's sometimes taking a drive, removing yourself from environments that may be toxic. Sometimes our family is toxic. And it don't make you a bad person because you said, I am not engaging in that today. I'm not engaging in that, period.
Ever. Period.
Right? Yes. And so taking a drive, taking a walk, exercising, going to get your cheat meal. Now, not a cheat meal every day,
Help us, sis.
right? Because mine is Chick-fil-A. Mine is Chick-fil-A. But it might be once a week. It might be, and just pouring back into your cup.
Yeah.
Podcast. I tell people just to log on to the Bible app. They have a 5-minute meditation already ready for you, and just receive. And a lot of times those scriptures are right what you need for that day. You can't be effective. Whether you're a hairdresser, whether you are a Shauna Brown White relationship expert, whether you are a minister of the gospel, whether you are a stay-at-home mom, okay? When you put them babies down for a nap, don't go vacuum. Go sit down somewhere. And it's okay.
You're gonna help somebody tonight.
It's okay.
You're gonna help somebody tonight.
I used to feel guilty, Shonda, getting away. Last year, 2019, I love my sister circle. Shout out to Rika, Candace, Jonah, Ashley, 𝗫𝘓𝘂, my girl, and they all your sorors, which is crazy. All of them.
I know.
All of them. I know. They also just love me. I don't know what it is, but
we do.
2019, we took a girls trip, and I felt guilty because I'm married with children. A girls trip. When I tell you, we rented an Airbnb. We prayed together. We laughed together. We went out to eat together. We poured into each other. We came back from that trip. Shonda, I quit my job and started my business. Jonah quit her job and started her business. Candace started her business. Rika's business quadrupled. Like 𝗫𝘓𝘂's doing her thing in Texas. When I tell you, we poured into each other so that we could go back and be effective and be who God has called us to be. It's that important. So don't ever feel guilty for stealing away. You're going to get me to preaching. Jesus stole away.
Yeah,
Still away.
He did.
He did.
He said, I'm about to go to this garden real quick and leave y'all.
Right here. Yeah. So I left Brandon, Morgan, Orion, Luke, and Levi and said, I'll be back on Sunday.
Bloop. Period.
Yeah. And was a better person when I came back.
I love that you mentioned you start your business, because that was actually one of my last questions too. Like, you started Divine Interventions, and I didn't even know if it was off, as after the girls trip, but I saw where you talked about how, you had to you said goodbye to your comfort zone to say hello to the unknown. Like, how was that for you? Like, did you, I'm assuming with the refreshing trip and just being able to, because I feel like with self-care too, it's like a refreshing. And so you're able to hear and see more clearly.
Yes.
So is that what happened for you? And that's what led to like Divine Interventions? You was like, I got to go.
Yeah. Actually, Divine 𝗫𝘓𝘂, nothing like a strong circle. Hey, boo. Yes.
Oh, hey.
And that's Dr. 𝗫𝘓𝘂.
Hey, Dr. 𝗫𝘓�.
Yes, she's a psychologist and one of the best therapists that I know as well. So if you're in the Dallas area, plug.
Yes, drop your stuff, 𝗫𝘓𝘂. Yes,
but Divine Interventions was actually birthed in 2015, and I just did a little bit here and there, a little bit. And I'd always worked in the mental health field. I was working for JCPS as a mental health counselor. 2019, I was tired, and I'm like, I know that there's more. I'm helping these babies at this school. I'm helping the staff at this school, but I know that God wants to do more on a different level. And so after the trip is when I was motivated to be more bold. And that was my word for 2019, bold, and to step out on faith. And so after, getting in the huddle with my girls, I came back and said, okay, what's this look like? And I wrote my letter of resignation at the end of the school year, not knowing the plan, because there's so much connected to running your own business, taxes, credentialing, with insurance panel, so much that looked like mountains. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? But I literally took the step. I quit and I said, okay, God, what's next? And literally one door was open right after the next. I quit in June. in August, I got an opportunity to present for 𝗔𝗫𝘂𝘗 at a conference with 700 plus people. I got paid more in one day than I'd had in a 2 weeks salary.
Goodbye. Good night.
And that's God saying, I got you. Just, take one more step. And that's what he did. And so I want to encourage anybody that has, that feel that tug that, okay, God, well, I know I should be doing this. Take one step and watch God open the door. And I quit. And the rest is history. Like, go back to work. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. God is faithful. Somebody just typed, God is so faithful. And he's waiting for us to take that step so he can be like, boom, boom. So it's been a blessing. Divine interventions. Our vision is to heal, to help heal people individually, where they can go and affect their own communities. And we affect communities, then we affect the world. And so that's what it's all about. And God has blessed. He has grown my business so much. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Listen, I can't even I don't even have the words, because just to see that, just to hear that, like, it's nothing but God, and that's why I wanted you to share that, because I'm like, somebody's gonna listen to this and somebody's debating whether they listening now, they listen to the replay, and somebody's like, they feel that tug and they're like, you better go on. Like you said,
Yes.
God's waiting on us. A lot of times we feel like we're waiting on God. He's like, no, I'm really waiting on you. And you're like, dang.
Yes.
What'd you say earlier? God had to clown me.
Had to clown. Yeah. Yeah. Had to clown. And here's the thing. This is the season, even though it's COVID, this is the season where God wants to show out. But we have to be in alignment. And this is the season, Shonda, that restoration is taking place. And so what should have taken 6 months for my business happened in 6 days. No joke. No joke. What should have taken 2 years happened in 2 months. And so we have to, if we are in alignment, man, God wants to flex. He wants to flex his muscles, but we have to first, we got to trust him, but we have to be in alignment with his will. We can't be living any kind of way and be like, God, bless this.
Bless this mess.
Bless his F. Bruce, our old pastor, used to say, you handcuffing God. He wants to, but you take the handcuffs off. So we gotta get in place and be in position.
Yes.
So, and he will do it. Oh, he will blow your mind.
He will, because I always find, and you could probably relate, like, when it's God, when you can't even explain it. Like you said, the way that your business grew in 6 months, what other explanation do I have except for but God? Like,
exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
This has been incredible. A whole word. Somebody said, y'all gonna make me shout in the wine down. Listen, honey, Monique done took us to church. Angela said that tug is your calling. Oh, the Miss Reed, she said, I'm so glad I clicked on this live. Y'all quenched my soul tonight. And somebody else said it earlier. I don't know who it was, but she said, the wives down is everything. I'm hooked. This here is you had a heart, which I'm assuming is self-care or self-love. And I'm like, and that is it.
There we go.
I love that y'all feel that, because that's what I want this to be. Like, I want us to take this moment. So a lot of y'all have children and kids. Tell that husband, put that kid in the bath, give him the bath, because y'all do a lot, okay? This is your moment to be fed, to have fun. And speaking of fun, I'm going to transition to what I like to call the rapid fire round. And we're going to get a little, not kinky, but have a little fun.
Oh, Lord.
Are you ready?
I think so.
All right. Well, here we go. The first one. Which TV wife most describes you? Claire Huxtable, the original Vivian from The Fresh Prince, Rochelle from Everybody Hates Chris, or Rainbow from Blackish?
I think I'd have to go with Claire Huxtable.
Okay.
I think so. I'd like to think that I bring a lot of class into the family. And she's so smooth, and she don't have to say much, just walk into the room and, so that's what I like to think, Al.
You like, if you ask somebody else, Gerica, what would you say about your friend? Drop it in the comments.
Right. Yeah.
Who's more of a morning person, you or him?
Him, all day.
Oh my gosh, what is it with our husbands being morning people?
All day. I roll over at 5. He's up on his phone. What are you doing? That's when my sleep is really good. Like, the only reason I get up at 7 is because Luke and Levi are running in there, jumping in the bed. That's it.
Yes.
Like, him.
And make sure y'all drop y'all's responses in the comments as well. Who's more likely to want to cuddle, you or him?
Me.
Oh,
He's good with cuddling, girl. He's a man. So, you know.
Oh, 𝗪𝗪𝘃 said, I would say 𝗪𝗪𝘃𝘲. Okay, so
Thank you, sis.
You know thyself.
Yes. Thank you.
Toilet paper over or under?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna wipe my butt.
Okay.
I think I put them both ways. It doesn't matter.
I guess we'll allow it. That's the only time I'm extra judgy on this, is when it gets to that question. Would you rather, option A, argue all the time but have great makeup sex, or B, never argue and have mediocre sex?
Y'all don't talk about me, okay? Don't talk about me.
It's a judgment-free zone.
Okay. I would say never argue and have okay sex. And I'll say this. A lot of people come into marriage knowing and being able to compare sex. My testimony is Brandon's the only man that I know that has known me in that way. And so I don't have anything to compare it to. So it's great anyway. So I don't like to argue. I hate it. Brandon likes makeup sex. I don't. I can't flip the switch off.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we just had this debate the other, like, Eric was so pumped up. He's like, babe, don't you like? And I was like, no. Like,
no.
I can't turn off the switch. I'm sitting here like, like, I'm mad.
I'm mad at you. No, because now you have to work it back. Because for me to be intimate for women, it's an all-day thing. Like, you have to pour into this bank. You have to deposit into this bank. I don't care if you say I'm sorry right before. Come and let me do. No, I don't want to right now. I'm still mad.
Where's my husband when he gonna watch this replay? I'm like, I can't. He's like, no. I'm like, no. I want to dig into your back because you just feel so good. Not because I'm like, oh, you
right. Because I'm still mad. I'm mad. No, I can't turn off my switch. No, that quick.
I'm glad you feel me. Who takes longer to get ready, you or him? You.
No.
It's him.
He does. My husband has more clothes than me. My husband, listen, I that's a skill to do. When you become a mother, you learn how to do it. Yeah. I was putting these on about 7:30. You know, it don't take long no more. And so I've mastered that. It's him. It's not me. Interesting. Now on Sunday mornings, we in the car waiting for him to come on down. And I'm like,
Sunday, don't even get me started on Sunday mornings, child. Which do you prefer? I think I know this one. A sunny tropical getaway or a cold cabin getaway?
Sunny tropical, girl.
I know it.
You know, we did Cancun this summer. We did Cancun last summer. Like, give me some water. Give me some trees. Oh my gosh, yes. I hate the cold. I don't want to go Alaska.
Palm tree. Like, do you just light up when you see a palm tree? I don't know what it is.
It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Now, there were a lot of iguanas this summer. Like, they looking at you like this, and they right there, like this close. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But the warmth is where it's at.
Yes. Who's more likely to leave a pile of clothes around?
If I turn my camera around.
Me too.
Me. I'm working on it. And that's self-care too. Not taking on too much. I'm gonna work on this pal today. And I got more than one pal, and I'm gonna get this pal in 2 more days.
Yeah. That's honest.
Yeah.
Home cooked meal or takeout, and who's more likely to cook?
He expects me to cook more. Y'all pray for me.
Keyword expects. Yeah.
Yes. And I know that expectation, and just pray for me. I will call Little Caesars in a minute. and walk in there and push the numbers in because I have a lot of boys, and yes, that works. I love eating out. Before Brandon, I ate out all the time.
Yes.
He taught me how to take that. He'll always say, you can take it $40. You about to go out to eat and go to the grocery store and get meat, go get some chicken, ground beef, all that. So me, I take out is me. I would prefer that every day. But I tried to appease. The other night I didn't feel good, but I fried my baby some fish. Two kinds too. I cooked some greens in a crock pot. That's another thing. It's a wonderful thing.
Don't get me started on these extra kitchen tools. That's a whole other topic. But anyway. Okay, the last one. Who's the better listener, you or him?
I get paid to listen to people. It comes natural. It comes natural. Now, in marriage, though,
counseling too, right?
Yeah, he does some coaching. He does some coaching. He loves to motivate people.
You like, but I'm
right. Yeah, it is hard though when it's your husband though, because you feel like you won't clap back, and so I'm learning to more. Yes, with him.
Yes, because we have to make them feel vulnerable, like it's a safe, vulnerable. They can be vulnerable with us, like.
Yes,
we have to make them feel that way because
even if we it is hard because a lot of times we may feel like we have the better option or no, but they need to feel like that they have the best idea and that they're on it. So just okay, just sit on it.
Yep.
Yes, baby. I'm working on it. Working on it.
And that's all we want the people to know, because there's no perfect wife, there's no perfect husband. We are all working on this and we in it together. So that's what we want the people to know. On that note, she said, no, you have to open your man's mind first. Talk about that next time. Okay. Thank you so much, Monique. Like, this has been incredible. Before we close out, I want you to just share what you're toasting to tonight with your chamomile tea and how everyone can reach you.
Okay. First, thank you, Shonda, for the opportunity. And blessings to you. I see what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I'm proud of you, my girl from Kentucky. Like, you have moved. You've trusted God. I got to say that. You've trusted God and he has blown our minds in your life. And it's a testament to what God can do. I am encouraged and blessed by your story too. Okay. Had to say that.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Toast to life. Because I think if anything, 2020 has taught us is that life is so short. Nice. Live life in love, forgive daily, let it go. Trust God, for real. Was that it? I think that's it.
Yes, toasting and how people can. Well, yeah, let's toast first. Cling, 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 cling. Eye contact. Yes. Ladies, y'all supposed to be toasting as well.
Yes.
Oh, yes, so Gerica. And somebody also asked again, they need their website for the shirt, and then also how they can contact you as well.
Yes. So you can contact me. The best way to contact me is via email. I will respond within 24 to 72 hours. My email is MoniqueCO'Neil@gmail.com. Somebody did post it earlier. A couple of people did. I offer counseling services, but not only that, I'll come and speak where you're at. Like, motivational speaking is something I want to get more into. Let's see.
Because you are good at it. Huh? Come on, business card. Yes.
I know it's a little blurry, but motivational speaking, workshops, ministry. Is where it's at. Thank you, Brittany.
Yes, Brittany. Good looking out. That's my girl. She here in the A.
Thank you. So that's the best way to contact me. Monique Counsels on Instagram, and then on Facebook is Monique O'Neil. My sisters who makes the t-shirts, she is Blondie Beautifies on Facebook. So if you look up Blondie Beautifies, I'm trying to think if she's on Instagram. I think Ebony had typed that in. Thank you, Gerica. Ebony had typed that in as well. Blondie Beautifies for the t-shirts and custom made. She'll make whatever. And she's in the Louisville area.
Okay. Come on, KY. Listen, KY has been a little shameful these last few months, but I'm thankful that I know some incredible, wonderful, God-fearing women and men like you. So I'm so appreciative for those of y'all who tune in for the live. I'm just so appreciative for y'all. This is episode 21. We've been doing this for 21 weeks. I can't believe it. Nothing but God.
Yes.
You share, tell a friend, tell your girlfriends. I appreciate y'all so much. And if you're sitting there, you're like, oh my gosh, this was incredible. I wish we could do this again. Well, guess what? I'll be back again next week for
Yes.
another. We only have a few more weeks in the year, so we're gonna close it out real good. And have some great special guests. All of our guests have been phenomenal. Nothing but a godsend. Like, I'm so appreciative. I can't do it without my special guests, but I definitely can't do it without all of you all who tune in each and every week. So I'm so grateful and I appreciate everyone. And just make sure that, like you said, live life every day and forgive daily and trust God. There's no better way to end it than on that note. So shout out to everybody. Thank you again, Monique. And y'all have a wonderful week.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you, Shonda.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Yay.